Link just pulled me aside on Monday and told me that I'd be leading the side this weekend, and obviously a number of things go through your head at that time, and the first thing is definitely you're very proud at that stage, but my attention quickly turned to what are the things we need to focus on this week? How do we make sure we get the best out of the strategy? So it's it's an extremely important role, and one that I see that the responsibility is then to make sure that you help navigate the side to a victory. So there's definitely a sense of pride that comes with that announcement, but your attention just refocuses very quickly. Naturally, you have to be a little bit more vocal, but and saying that, we've got good voices spread across the group. So those guys that look after those areas are still continuing to do that and drive the standards there. More so, I've just had to take more ownership around strategy and make sure that I'm having a lot of little conversations with the coaches and our 9s and 10s, just making sure that we're all on the same page. And I think that's the biggest part of the job, is just making sure that you give great clarity to the group around how we want to play and what we're trying to execute. For me, the role is purely about making it black and white for the side, so there is no grey going into the weekend, and then you can navigate the sides from there.
A lot of the talk heading into this game has been about the forward pack and the fact things haven't gone so great in that regard in the last couple of games. How big a focus has that been heading into this game?
Yeah, look, we certainly haven't performed the way we would have liked, particularly last weekend, but I think a long way to go in clearing that up is, like I've just touched on, is making it very black and white in terms of what we're going to do in certain areas of the field, so that forwards can clean up their running lines and making sure that we zero in just on owning that advantage line. And that's probably something we were a little bit grey in last week, and that comes with the territory of learning new game plans and new strategies and how we want to play. We're still refining that week to week. So look, another week further down the track enables us to be a little bit clearer in how we want to do that, and I think that'll give the forwards a lot clearer roles, and then we can start to own that advantage line for the back line.
Absolutely, there's always pressure for selection, and that's a really good example of it too. Obviously, probably it was a little bit of a shock, but I've always said that selection's never guaranteed, and you're only good as your last game. So for us, with guys pushing for spots, it's creating a really competitive environment, and that's what we need to do to test the best. Is we need to be competitive amongst ourselves before we can be competitive against the best in the world.
Yeah, look, he's been really good. Earlier in the week, I definitively left him alone, because I know when you've gone through that sort of situation, there is a bit of time there where you just want to just get your thoughts together and have a bit of time to yourself. So I touched base with him yesterday, and look, he's in really good spirits, and I saw a real fire in the things that he was saying, where he sees the side and where he sees his role, and that's what you want. You want two guys in a position pushing harder, and we've got that. We've got Whitey, who's been pushing Willie really hard, and now Willie's going to push Whitey really hard. So look, that's exactly the position you want the side to be in. You want a real fight for jerseys going on. Yeah, it certainly wasn't something that I was expecting to happen. But look, it's been a whirlwind, and it seems to have happened quickly at this year, in terms of having not played a test pre-June and then to the stage we're at now. But there's been a lot of investment to go into that, and myself being an older player at 28, making my debut, and then being here, I think that's put me in a really good headspace. And I'd say that's probably one of the big reasons why I've been entrusted with the responsibility, is that I have been around a fair while now, and I've had a fair few different kind of experiences. So that gives me a pretty good background with the players, I think.
Yeah, look, weren't too impressed with our performance from the weekend against the Springboks, but I guess, like Benny said, our success will be determined off the platform that the forwards lay. So I know these guys have addressed the areas that needed addressing during the week, and have worked really hard in that regard. So for us, it's about a balance this weekend, making, not only playing a good brand of rugby, but making good decisions prior to that. So obviously, we certainly have trained pretty hard this week. We want to go out there and put in a performance.
They're obviously a side that plays with great passion, and I'd say probably the unique thing about them is pretty much every player in their team can kick. Every player in their team's got a step. They're all very quick, and I'd say that comes from probably playing a variety of backgrounds of sports when they were younger, and you can see that in the way that they play at this stage. They're all very skillful players. You saw that in the first try they scored against the All Blacks on the weekend. A very quick movement of hands, and they realise where space is. So, look, they're obviously a very passionate defensive side, but I think their attack, they seem to be very calm and like playing in almost a form of chaos. That seems to suit them. So, look, the challenge for us this weekend is to make sure that we dictate moments, that where and when we give them the ball, and then making sure that we apply a lot of pressure and really squeeze them, because we need to make sure that if they want to play in chaos, they need to feel the heat when they're doing that.
Yeah, we got caught against the Springboks. We got caught out about playing a little bit too laterally and probably running away from our support. So we've tidied up that area of our game and making sure that we're a little bit direct, a little bit square in our attack.
Approach them as practically as I can, and I spend a lot of time throughout the week preparing in my head for situations and strategies about how I'll manage them. And look, what I like to do is just build a rapport with the referee early on, so he knows that when I'm going to speak to him, it's going to be honest and respectful. From my experience, that seems to be the most powerful thing you can do, is if you're showing a referee respect, but you're also being honest in your appraisal of where your team's at and the expectations in around penalties and the way the game's been refereed, then I think you quickly come to a very good common understanding of what the expectations are for the game, and then it becomes manageable from there. So, look, I haven't worked with Nigel before yet, obviously, but look, that'll be the same for this weekend. I'll just try and build a rapport with him early on. That excites me, to be honest. I like all the guys in this group have a lot of belief in what we're trying to achieve. We're at the start of developing where we want to be. We want to be playing rugby where, a year or two down the track, people are trying to catch up to us and say, geez, they started playing this way 2 years ago, we should have been mirroring that. And we firmly believe we've got the skill and the players to do that. So the exciting thing for myself at this stage is we've got a side where it is at the moment, and we know where it should be. So it's just about empowering those guys and making sure that we all buy into that. It's only going to take one moment to pop through the other side, and I guarantee that big results and the rugby that we're building will come.